Let's dissect the "it's not just Caitlyn" bringing eyes to the WNBA conversation. The old Caitlyn Clark isn't the only one changing the WNBA conversation, has been resurrected, and while yes, that is technically true as basketball is a team sport, there are some nuances to it. And I have my own take on this conversation, so let's dive music. And so there was just an article that came out from ESPN in which Caitlyn Clark's agent Aaron Kane was interviewed, so of course she's going to be talking about Caitlyn Clark as she is her agent. And there is a show called the We Talk Now podcast, and they had a little something to say about it. So the podcast is hosted by Alicia Jay and Nicole Moss, and I have to just first state that Alicia Jay was the person who has the opinion that Caitlyn Clark is not the only person who is moving the needle for the WNBA. She does attribute much of the success of the WNBA to Caitlyn Clark. But she comes in with the old, "it's not just Caitlyn Clark, it's other people too." And while yes, I 1000% agree that Caitlyn Clark cannot be the only person to affect change any team sport, it's just kind of a bit of a tired conversation to not recognize that she is pretty much the reason that the WNBA is on the map the way that it is. It's hard as somebody who does like the WNBA as a whole. I'm not just a Clark fan, I am a big Caitlyn Clark fan, but I do love so many aspects of the WNBA. I watch almost every game every season. So you know I can't not love it, but I cannot be so blind as to state that Caitlyn Clark is not the needle mover of the WNBA as it stands today. And I think because there is such a backlash against Caitlyn Clark's success and successes and her failures, a lot of people do want to come rushing in and defend Caitlyn Clark at all costs, and sometimes the conversation is kind of off-putting, and it does make you want to say, hey, listen, she is single-handedly affected the most change the WNBA has ever seen, from not a lot to stratosphere style, the way that people go about it. There are a lot of people who take the more aggressive approach. I like to take the more logical approach and see things from multiple views and multiple sides. I do want to show you the clip, and afterwards I want to give you my hot take, my assessment of the situation. As it is the person interviewing said, will Caitlyn Clark ever be paid by the WNBA what she's really worth to that league? And Aaron said, I don't think that's possible. She's part of a larger player body. They all need to be paid more. She should be recognized for what she has done and what she's brought to the league from an economic standpoint. It's as simple as that. And you know, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about this. She also went on to say that she's very, very hopeful for the current CBA negotiations and pushing the line forward on players' salaries. And the most important thing has always been getting WNBA players paid for what they do on the court. And so it's important to note that, obviously she's not an agent just for Caitlyn. She has a lot of WNBA players underneath her as well. And to me, as I understand that Caitlyn is, one of her clients, probably, I don't want to say her biggest one, but definitely one that she focuses a lot on, I'm sure. And so she's going to say this. The thing with this statement right here is that she was specifically asked about Caitlyn Clark's. So why would she not reply specifically about Caitlyn Clark now? Just to let you know that this agent, Aaron Kane, she's also Neficis's agent. She's Arco's agent. So she could be talking about other players, but in the specific instance, when she's asked about her specific player, you typically want to respond to the question. And a lot of people had things to say about positioning just Caitlyn Clark, which I agree with, because she's not the only player that brought in revenue. She's not the only player who's bringing in eyes. She's brought in a lot. Her impact is great. But you could say the same thing for the entire rookie class that came in last year, and that was the statement that I think has people in a bit of an uproar. It's not just Caitlyn Clark isn't the only rookie that's bringing eyes into the league. And so I started thinking about this today, and I started thinking about all the other rookies, and I started thinking about where they would be without the presence of Caitlyn Clark in basketball. So let's just do a hypothetical. Let's take Caitlyn Clark out of the WNBA. Let's take her out of the basketball world in general. So who for the other players that are bringing eyes to the league and that have been touted as bringing eyes to the league? Angel Reese, one of them. Now, this is not a dig on Angel Reese or anything. Please, don't take this that way. But where would Angel Reese be without the whole "you can't see me"? And real quick, if you guys don't know, with "you can't see me" thing and where it came from, it originated from a WWF move. And it's just something that a lot of players do in celebration, and Caitlyn Clark actually had beat LSU and did the "you can't see me." Caitlyn Clark brought it back to the WWF days with the "can't see me." I kind of like that one. I mean, after you hit 18 step back threes, she was doing it to her strength training coach. A lot of people thought she was doing that towards the LSU players. I think they thought she was specifically doing it towards Hailey Van Lith, of which Hailey Van Lith denied and said, oh no, she wasn't doing it to me. That's funny, haha. A lot of people think that the next season LSU comes back and beats Iowa the year they won the Natty, and Angel Reese just starts going "can't see me" back to Caitlyn Clark trash court talk. A lot of people think it was uncalled for. I mean, I'm a hey talking trash on the court, is on the court. You do what you got to do. She kind of follow around a little bit. Caitlyn just totally ignored it. And it is what it is, but the rivalry was set, so it could be argued that a lot of Angel Reese's celebrity came from that because that was talked about. That whole "you can't see me" went viral and garnered a lot of attention. And another huge rookie, Kate Martin, she's made a big imprint in the WNBA marketing-wise with the sale of her jersey, and I got to say she played on a team with Caitlyn Clark. Would that team without Caitlyn Clark be what they were? Would Kate Martin be able to put up the numbers that she was able to put up without the gravity that Caitlyn Clark had on the court and giving Kate Martin more open looks? This is not a dig at the way that Kate Martin plays, because she has obviously proved herself, but Kate Martin was not invited to the 2024 WNBA draft. She went there to support her friend Caitlyn Clark and just got her name called. The Las Vegas Aces selected her as the 18th overall pick, and they garnered a whole bunch of new fans from the Kate Martin following from Iowa, who was on a team with Caitlyn Clark. This conversation is always hard because it comes with a lot of feelings from both sides. And listen, Caitlyn Clark would not exist if it were not for the WNBA. The thing is, though, is I don't really remember any conversations like this happening when Michael Jordan was in the NBA. We were all able to be fans of other teams back then. And I want to reiterate, this is not shade to Angel Reese, this is no shade to Kate Martin. We're more talking about what the Caitlyn Clark effect has done for the brand of the WNBA and where it would be without her. What would the television ratings for the WNBA look like? What would the jersey sales in the WNBA marketing department look like? How many WNBA hashtags would there be on social media? Would Stephen Smith actually mention the WNBA? How much would these WNBA franchises be worth if she had not entered the league? Would there be these expansion teams happening? Would there be 44 games instead of 40? From last season, if we want to talk outside of the rookies, like would Lexi Hall be an unrivaled with Aaliyah Boston? But this was about rookie, so let's keep the main thing anyway. I've not on too much of a rant. I do want to say that I have hit the 5,000 subscribers mark on YouTube, and I can't just express how grateful I am to the community here. I pretty much hard launched and decided to go full throttle into YouTube at the beginning of January, where I think I had 52 subscribers, and I now in the middle of February have over 5,000, so I am so appreciative to everybody here. I read your comments because honestly the comments have helped me develop like what works, what doesn't work, because I'm like, just navigating the world of YouTube, because I'm not new to content creation, but I am new to YouTube. It's a whole new different format, and I do notice so many of you that are in my comments a lot, and I really do try to hop in and have dialogue with a lot of you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all the likes, I appreciate all the subscribes. I don't generally like to do a lot of these ranty style videos because I do love, my favorite thing is to talk about the best parts about basketball, but sometimes you got to just let it out right anyway. I can't wait for the WNBA season to start. That is when we're going to have so much fun. And I am constantly looking to get better at a lot of things, like keeping eye contact at the camera is one of them, but I will say that the reason I do look away a lot is it's just the way that my mind works. Even in real life when I'm having a conversation with somebody, when I'm really thinking about something, I look away a lot. It's this form of focus and concentration that just works for me. And I also do have a little dog, which I know a lot of you have seen peeks of every once in a while walking around here. And I do want to introduce him at some point too. His name is Hugo, and I do have a Twitter, which I've had for a very long time. But I really just started kind of diving in and giving thought nuggets in the past. I'd say 2 to 3 weeks. I should probably link it in my channel somewhere too, but it is under Rosalina Lee. So if you want to just have any dialogue there, you can find me that way. I also just realized that I think I might have recorded the whole thing with my little microphone turned upside down. That is another thing I will probably be investing in the very near future. But the bottom line is just thank you for giving me any of the time to watch any of these videos that I cobbled together. Thank you for being pretty kind in the comments. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking, and I will see you next time.